I think broadly there are two reasons for being a musician and staying with being a musician and recording. One is professional, that's what you do. Another is just the sheer passion of the hobby. It's something you just do because you love doing it. I think that there's also a third reason, the reason why I do this. It's a combination of those two, but the third reason is the genealogy and the heritage and what you leave for future generations. For me, leaving art and leaving something that can be looked back on in 100 years and give some insight into who I was, who we were, I think that's important. A really good example is Julie has quite a musical extended family, and there's one chap called Charles Hill. I think he's a great uncle-in-law, and he was a tenor who recorded records in the 1920s and into the 1930s, I believe. And in fact, his records were played by a chap called Christopher Stone, who was the first ever DJ for BBC Radio in the UK. We're talking 100 years here ago. And that was quite a thing at the time. That was quite revolutionary because BBC broadcasts were live. They didn't play records until they did play records. Anyway, great uncle Charles Hill was a professional musician. And we're talking 100 years ago, and we managed to get hold of a recording through a family member, which was very poor to start with, unfortunately. It was recorded on a phone as an MP3 from an original 78 RPM. I think it's an acetate record. It was not the sort of technology used for records now. It wasn't vinyl. I'm going to play a wee bit, and this has been cleaned up. It had to be cleaned up. It was so noisy. So it has artifacts, but here we go. Just like a smile beyond umbrella on a rainy day. And if you're feeding like a fella. It is wonderful because not only I think it's a wonderful song, but it's just him and a piano, and it had to be recorded live without any mistakes. And it just captures a moment of a relative 100 years ago, and it's forever now. And so it can be passed forward. So we do music, and we're not famous, and we never will be famous, but we are leaving an imprint of what we do for future generations in the hope that 100 years' time, our descendants will be able to listen to what we thought, what we played at the time we did it, the styles we were using at the time. It's just part of that musical genealogy, if you like. And I think that's the biggest reason we keep doing this, to be honest.